Hello, Stampers, and welcome to another episode of Make It Monday with me, your host, Laura Buechler from Inkyfingers Papercrafting. So excited to be here with you today, as I am every Monday afternoon, to remind you that creativity is fun, creativity is good for us, and creativity is for everyone. All right, I have got something so fun to show you today. This is such a simple card layout, and I'm going to show it to you with a few different papers. So let's jump in and get started. This all came about because I received this card in a swap that I participated in recently. This card was made by Annie Noel, and I decided this is a great card to case. Case means copy and share everything. So I have already cased this card with the beautiful Valley in Bloom Designer Series paper, and I'm going to show you the same layout with two different papers as well. All right, let's jump in and get started. We're going to start with the Botanical Blooms Specialty Vellum paper. Now this, can you see this? It's kind of see-through, right? Because it's vellum, it's not designer series paper. And that means too that it's only, it's just got the design on one side. It hasn't got a different design on the other side. And it means that when you overlay it on different colors of paper, it looks different, right? So you get to play around and do what you want with it. So this awesome vellum paper, Berry Botanicals is what it's called. And I have just misplaced my tape. There it is. I found it. Whew. This is the product of the month for May, and it is still in stock, even though it is the end of May now. So you can still get this beautiful paper, and you can create awesome projects with it like I'm doing today. Now, one of the things about this vellum, even though it is vellum, it also has this design on it. So you can't really see where I just put that adhesive. I mean, if you really zoom in and look carefully, you can. But if you're just looking at it normally like you would on a card, you're not going to notice that. So that's a fun fact. So the Berry Botanicals 12 by 12 specialty vellum is a product that, like I said, it's a product of the month, and you can get it for $7. It's a full pack, 12 sheets of 12 by 12, but you can only get it when you unlock the product of the month, which you do by ordering $100 or more in a single order. So that's pretty easy to do, right? Because Stampin' Up! Has such fabulous products of all kinds, whether it's ink or cardstock or stamps or dies or punches or embossing folders. I could go on. And of course, gorgeous paper is a big part of that. So I love the bright, bold colors of this paper. And then it's also a little bit muted because it's vellum. So it's really fun and gorgeous and stunning. All right, I want some ribbon. I've got my Golden Glow ribbon here, which is the same color as my card base. Look at how nice those match. And I just want to do a simple wrap around with the ribbon. Now, this is my easiest ribbon trick, and people often think I'm doing something way fancier than I actually am, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lay out my ribbon and make sure it's a little bit wider than the cardstock I want to wrap it around. So I'm going to cut it right about here. That's plenty long. And then I've put adhesive on either side here, and I'm just going to put my ribbon onto that adhesive, end to end, right? We don't need to wrap it around the back. Nobody sees ribbon wrapping around the back. We just need it wrapping around the front. Okay, and then we pop that on because I already put adhesive on the whole piece, so it's ready to go on. And now I'm going to cut a separate piece and tie that into a little knot. Not even a bow, just a knot. So I'll show you in a second. First of all, this is gorgeous because I can move this little knot wherever I want it to be, right? Rather than if I very finically tried to tie a knot and then wrap it around. This is the exact same thing I did here. I wrapped the ribbon around and then tied a little knot. So you can move that knot wherever you need it to be. And it is so much easier than like trying to tie a knot with two ends of a ribbon and then, you know, pinch it down and maybe it doesn't stay right where you want it to. And anyway, this is the easiest way to do ribbon, in my opinion. Okay, so I've got that. Now I need my sentiment. So for the sentiments on all three cards, I'm using the rounded rectangle punch. This is a new punch for $34. And what an easy way to add a focal point to your card. I'm going to punch out a rectangle, a rounded rectangle from Bubble Bath cardstock, because that's going to match this designer series paper. And then I'm going to stamp a sentiment. Okay, so I have got thank you, which is the same one I used here. I have got have a great birthday. And I've got, there's one more here. Oh yeah, you make me smile. That's the one I'm going to use on this card. I'll use those other ones on something else. And I want to use, what color ink do I want to use? I think I want to use Pretty Peacock. No, I'm wrong. I want to use Hydrangea Hue. So I'm choosing that because that's the color of the mat I put around there. So that's one of our fantastic new in color ink pads. And you can get this ink pad as well as the other 4 new in colors free when you join Stampin' Up! Before May 31st. And that is coming up. That is next Sunday. So you have less than a week to take advantage of that awesome offer and get yourself the new in color ink pads for free. What a fabulous deal. You always get $165 worth of product of your choice when you join Stampin' Up! And it only costs $135 with free shipping. So, and on top of that, right now, you can get the 5 new ink pads for free. Or if you already have the ink pads or you're not keen on getting the ink pads, you can choose $50 worth of other product for free. Okay, so I have got some little stamps here. I've got flowers and ferns and a little butterfly or moth. And I'm just going to add some little stampy bits around here to add some fun little detail. Okay, I'm going to stamp Bubble Bath on Bubble Bath with these flowers. And then I'll think about what color I want to do the butterfly. Oh, that looks pretty. I like that so much. You make me smile. Let's see. What other colors have I got on the card? We've got Misty Moonlight. We've got Peaceful Pine. I think I'm going to do Peaceful Pine. That's the color of this green background here. So let's grab the Peaceful Pine. I mean, there's just no law that says a butterfly has to be such and such a color, right? You get to choose. So I'm going to choose this color. And I can't fit the whole butterfly on there, but it just gives a little hint of a butterfly. Maybe I'll put another one on the other side too. Here we go. Ooh, stamping with the left hand. You make me smile. Okay. Very pretty. And then I'm almost ready to pop that on the card. But I want to add one more touch, which is I want to sponge daub around the edges. And to sponge daub around the edge, I'm going to use, again, the Hydrangea Hue, the same color that this mat is. So let's grab that ink pad. You can see because it's a brand new color, I have brand new sponge daubers. So these little daubers, they just go on your index finger, tap them in the ink pad a couple times, and then you just brush along the edge to add some color. So I'll show you again in a second the sample card that I was casing. Remember, that stands for Copy and Share Everything. The maker of this card stamped some seagrass along the bottom, a seagull at the top, have a great birthday, and then added the sponge daubing. And that's especially effective on this card because this is a light colored background on a light colored background. So adding that sponge daubing really makes it pop. So when I put this on here, again, the sponge daubing makes it pop. And you make me smile. Cute little card that I just made. Okay, I'm going to add the sentiment here, and then I'm going to, let's see, here we go. Got my dimensionals. I'm using up all the little edge bits of my dimensionals now. Don't forget, when you have dimensionals, that all of these edge pieces can be used too, right? If you are a crafter who likes to make cards with, weird little die cut shapes that are very finicky, and you like to put those on with dimensionals, saving these edge bits for that kind of project can be really, really helpful. Today, I have about 3 sheets of edge bits that I'm trying to use up. So I'm just going to go ahead and use them on a very simple shape, a rounded rectangle. Okay. And we're going to pop that right on there. And doesn't that look cool? You make me smile. Let's add some embellishments. I have got the 2025 to 2027 in colors. And of course, on this card, we have Golden Glow and Hydrangea Hue are showing up as our in colors, as well as Peaceful Pine. So I've got 3 choices of what I can do with these embellishments. And I'm going to put, let's see, I'm going to put one here. And I'm going to put the Golden Glow here. And what's the other one? Oh, yes, Hydrangea Hue. I'm going to put that right there. There we go. Just adds a little bit of sparkle to that card, right? Okay, that's card number 1 done with the Botanical Blooms. That's the one. Botanical Blooms Vellum Designer Series paper, which you can get, as I said, for $7 as your product of the month. All right, let's do next the one I showed in the thumbnail for the video. This is the Valley in Bloom Designer Series paper. It's really, really pretty. I love the color palette of this, and I did not buy the accompanying bundle, which is Lily of the Valley. I've seen it used in many samples, and it is gorgeous. But I did not buy it. I just wanted to play with this gorgeous paper. And I'm so glad that I did, because it is super pretty. Do I really need to buy the Lily of the Valley bundle? No, you don't need to buy the you don't need to buy the bundle for every suite or paper that you want to play with. You get to pick and choose. You can choose to buy the entire suite of products and know that everything in that suite is going to go together so nicely. And it is really fun. There are, many, 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 many times when I do buy the entire suite, but sometimes I just want a little bit of, I just want this paper, or I just want that stamp set. And this is one of those examples. I just bought the paper. And as a matter of fact, this stamp here, which I'm going to use on this card, is from, again, a stamp set that's from a suite. And I did not buy the whole suite. I didn't even buy the whole bundle. I just bought this Scalloped Bloom stamp set because look at all these fantastic sentiments, right? Super great collection of sentiments for my crafting. All right, where's my rounded rectangle punch? We're going to punch this out from Lemon Lime Twist this time and stamp this with Thank You. And as we did before, we're going to use the color of this mat to guide what colors to use for the sentiment. So I'm going to use Pretty Peacock for the sentiment. Here we go. And I'll probably use the exact same colors that I used on my sample card. You'll see what I have done differently is to put this on Lemon Lime Twist instead of in the sample card I used white. So we'll see which one we like better, right? Okay, so I'm going to use Darling Duckling for my flowers, and I'm going to use Coastal Cabana, which is the color of the card base, for my little butterfly. Okay, now definitely these flowers are going to look a little different on Lemon Lime Twist from how they look with on the white cardstock. And there's my Coastal Cabana. get a little bit of butterfly in there. There we go. Thank you. Very pretty. All right, now this time as I'm putting, oh, I haven't even put my ribbon on yet. Okay, pause. Let's clean some stamps and get some ribbon on here. And then we'll go on to the next step. So I see there's a couple people watching. Throw me a comment and let me know where you're tuning in from. And I'd love to know, as you see the projects that I'm making today, have you used any of these products? Have you used the botanical blooms where I made the first card? Have you used the Waterside Retreat that Annie used on the card that I'm casing? Or have you used the Valley and Bloom designer series paper that I'm using on this project here? Okay, Darling Duckling ribbon is what I need here. We're going to do our Simple ribbon trip again. There we go. Cut an extra little piece. Probably made that longer than it needed to be. Better too long than too short though, right? Okay. There we go. I'm going to trim that ragged end off. Marvelous. All right, now as I grab my dimensionals, I want to draw your attention to the fact that I'm putting them in the four corners. I'm not putting anything in the middle. And the reason for that is because the middle of this sentiment, the middle of this shape, is going to be right on top of the ribbon. The ribbon moves a little bit on your card, and you don't want your sentiment shape to be attached to that ribbon because it's not as secure. So I'm just putting my dimensionals at the top and bottom of the sentiment shape, and then nothing will be attached to the ribbon. Okay, lickety split, 17 minutes in, and we've got a second card done. Pretty, right? Let's add some pearls to that. Only if I can find them. Maybe not. I know they're somewhere on this desk. Let's trust that they'll turn up before the end of this video. But in the meantime, the sample card does have the pearls on it. Doesn't that look pretty? I put them 3 little pearls like that to kind of accentuate the shape of the rounded rectangle punch. All right, our final card. Here we go. We have got the Moonlit Flora designer series paper. Now this is an example where I did buy the entire suite immediately as soon as I could order from the new May to August catalog, because I think this suite is gorgeous. And you saw me crafting with this suite 2 weeks ago in my previous Make It Monday video. So really, I'm throwing it in again just as an example of how you can make the same card with lots of different papers, and then it, you can make it suitable for different occasions, different people. You can have different color schemes and so on, but it's just a really, really simple card layout that you can use over and over, and it's always going to look gorgeous. Okay, so look at that. Look at those gorgeous colors. I can't even deal with it. All right, so once again, I'm going to use our Golden Glow ribbon. And get that adhesive on there. There we go. Doesn't really matter whether your ribbon is, this one is kind of like halfway up. Most of the time I do them about 2/3 of the way down, but really doesn't matter, not at all. Let's add our second little piece of ribbon to turn into a knot. There we go. Beautiful. Look at how the Golden Glow ribbon matches the Golden Glow in the paper, and of course the Golden Glow cardstock. And that's one of the things that we love most about Stampin' Up, right? Is how that color coordination comes across. And we know that when we make a project and we choose those colors, we know that they're going to match. We're not going to need to stress about the color coordination because Stampin' Up has done that for us. And we just know that our project is going to look good. Okay, I have got my soft seafoam punched shape here, and this one is going to be a birthday card. So I'm going to stamp the sentiment with Secret C, which is the color of my card base. There we go. Have a great birthday. And definitely in this case, we've got some space to fill up on that sentiment. So I want to add some little bits and pieces. So I've got a fern and of course our faithful butterfly. And what colors are we going to use? We're going to use Golden Glow for the butterfly. And we're going to use Peaceful Pine for the fern. There we go. And let's see here. Oh yeah, that's lovely. I'm going to do sponge daubing on this in the Peaceful Pine. So let's get one of my new sponge daubers. So every single thing that you see me using today is available on the Stampin' Up website. And what helps me create these videos for you and be a demonstrator and keep sharing inspiration on projects is when people shop from my website and place orders. So you can do that at inkyfingers.ca/shopsu. And that's one of the ways that you can support my business as well as getting yourself some gorgeous crafting products. And they don't have to be the ones that you see me using today. Everybody's got their own preferences for what they want to craft with. And if you find yourself in a position where you'd love to craft, but you're not sure what you want to craft, I really recommend our all-inclusive kits. Those are a great way to get started. I have a customer coming by this afternoon to pick up 6 kits that she ordered. So she's going to have so much fun putting together all the wonderful cards. With each kit, it usually makes 8 or 9 cards. So she's going to have lots of crafting ahead of her. Okay, and I want to do some Golden Glow. And what else? Yeah, I'm going to throw in another little green one here. There we go. Have a great birthday. All right, let's have a look at all of these cards that we've done today. And we've got the inspiration one right here in the corner, the one that Annie made that I received in a swap. Okay, so let me know which one you like the best. We've got the lilies, the valleys in bloom, moonlit flora, botanical blooms, and relaxing waterside. Let me know which one you like. That was so much fun. Thank you so much for joining me today for another dose of creativity, which is, as we know, creativity is fun, Creativity is good for us, and creativity is for everyone. I appreciate your support, watching and sharing the video, commenting and subscribing. And don't forget, I would really love for you to take some creative time for yourself this week. That is the most important thing to take away from this video. And if you're looking for supplies or inspiration or how-to ideas, check out my website at inkyfingers.ca. I hope you have a great day, a terrific week, and happy stampin'. Bye-bye.